Hi, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Sam.
And we're MV Board Gaming. And today we're going to be taking a look at Ready, Set, Bet by John D. Clare and AEG. This is a game for 2 to 9 players. Plays about 45 minutes to an hour for ages 10 and up. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how it's going to play. And we'll come back and tell you if this is a yay or a nay. All right, so I've already got a game of Ready, Set, Bet ready to go. So in this game, what you're going to be doing is you are going to be placing bets on horses over the course of 4 different races. At the end of the 4th race, whoever has the most money is going to win the game. Now, before I get into what you're going to be doing during the game, I first want to focus on the race itself. So, in this game, the race is run on this tiny little sideboard. And there's a couple ways that this can work. Now, you can sign a player to run the race, and they'll be known as the house player, or you can actually use the Ready, Set, Bet app, all right? And they'll do all the upkeep and everything, but I do want to explain how this is going to work and what you're going to be kind of looking for as this is going to be going, okay? So the house player or the app, essentially what they're going to be doing is they're going to be rolling this dice, however fast or slow that they want to, and depending on what number they roll, they're going to move the corresponding horse. So horses are going to be numbered 2 and 3 all the way up to 11 and 12. So in this case, I rolled a 10. That means the 10 horse is going to move 1 space. And then they're going to announce every move, and then they're going to continue rolling. And let's say, for example, I rolled the number 10 again. Now the horse would move 1 space, but they'll also have a bonus movement. So if the same number is rolled consecutive times, the horse is going to have a bonus movement. In the case of number 10, they have a bonus movement of 3. All right. So blues are going to have a bonus movement of 3, orange bonus movement of 2, and the pinks are going to have a bonus movement of 1. 7 does not have a bonus movement. And then let's say, for example, I roll 10 again. This time the horse is only going to move 1 space. They do not get the bonus movement on a 3rd consecutive roll. But if there was a 4th consecutive roll, then they would get that bonus movement. All right, and the race is going to continue until a horse crosses this line here at number 15. All right, now the house player and the app are going to announce all these movements and telling you who's going to be in the lead, that kind of stuff. But they'll also be responsible for letting you know when betting has to stop. Okay, so once 3 horses cross this red betting line, no more betting can happen. Okay, so that's going to be important for the house player as well. But that's essentially how the race is going to run every single time. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about what everything else is going to be on the board. So players are going to have these little tokens, and the entire race is kind of a free-for-all on who you're going to be wanting to bet for. So everybody's going to have these tokens that you're going to have in your hand. However, if you are playing a 7 or 8 player, you do not use one of these 3s. You can put it away. But for all other player counts, you will use all of these tokens. All right. And what you're going to be doing is while this race is going on, you're going to be placing these tokens out on the board based on who you think is going to win, place, or show. Now, win means win the race. Place is going to be somebody that is in 2nd, and show is going to be 3rd, right? So if let's say the number 8 horse wins the race, all bets for the number 8 horse is going to win because they finished in 1st. So all of these are going to be valid bets, because if you place a show bet, it means you're going to think the horse is going to finish in 1st or 2nd. If you play, or that's a place bet, my bad. If you do a show bet, it's going to be 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, right? So win, think you're going to win. Place, 1st and 2nd. Show, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Okay? Anybody that places in 2nd, you'll be able to mark them as well. And the bets that are for the place and show will be validated because obviously the horse did not win. And there can be ties for 2nd. So let's say this is the case. You would have 2 2nd place where these bets here will be paid out. However, if there is a tie for 2nd, there will be no 3rd show paid out. So any horses that would be essentially 4th would not be paid out because there's a tie for 2nd. Okay, so you're going to be placing out these bets on who you think is going to win the race. Now, some of them, there are no penalties to losing that bet. If I want to bet, 2 here on this 5 times for the 9 horse, and he doesn't win, I just don't get any money for that, and there is no penalty. However, if I had placed it here, then if I lost, I would lose $2. All right. And then what your winnings are going to be, if they do win, is you're going to multiply your chip times the number on the board. So if I had that there, it would be $10, right? So that's how these are all going to work. And you're going to see that while you're playing, a lot of these spaces that don't have a penalty are probably going to disappear very quickly. And since 7 is the most likely rolled number, as you can see, all of them have a penalty for a lost bet. All right. So you have these understandings of how these bets are going to work. You're also going to have these blue, orange, red wins, or I called them pink earlier, but red. And then also you're kind of betting on hoping that 7 is going to finish 5th or worse. Okay. And when you're placing these bets, only one player can go to a certain space. So if somebody beats you to a certain spot, nobody else can place there. It's going to be first come, first serve. And that's going to happen for all the bets that we're talking about. Okay, there is something we'll talk about that might break that rule in a minute, but for all intents and purposes, only one person can bet on a given space. Okay, so if you think a blue horse is going to win, you'll bet here. Orange is going to win here. Red's going to win there, right? One player, one token. You cannot bet multiple tokens. Okay, another set of bets you're going to have are going to be these prop bets. So let me go ahead and show you how this is going to work. This is a prop bet that you're going to check at the end of the race and see, hey, did the 8 horse beat all of the blue horses? If so, you're going to multiply your winnings or your bet by 2. If not, you lose 3, right? Here is another one where it says, hey, the 2/3 horse is going to beat the 8 horse. Okay, and that's how you're going to be placing these bets. And these prop bets are going to change every single race. So every single race, these will come off and you'll have 5 new prop bets. Again, one player, one token. That's how that works. Over here, this is going to grow as more races go on. So the first race, and these are called exotic finishes, by the way. So this one here has a space where multiple people can bet, right? So unlike all the other ones, this one is only going to have spaces for 3 people to bet. And this one just says at the end of the race, you're going to check and see if this happens. So this is a late start card that says at least 2 horses move 3 or fewer spaces. Okay, you can bet here and your multiplier is going to be 4 or your penalty is going to be 1. All right, and as you can see, multiple people can bet here, but this is going to stay out from race to race. And as you go and pay out your monies, that's going to stay there, and more exotic finishes are going to happen. Okay, so there's going to be other things to keep track of. So you're going to be betting here on the main board. You're going to have your prop bets that are going to be changing, and you're going to have your exotic finish bets. All right, so there could be a lot to keep an eye on as you're betting, and you're racing other people on how you're going to bet. Okay, the other thing that's going to happen, so after the first race, you are going to have these VIP cards. Every player is going to get 2 of these at the end of every race, except for obviously the 4th race. And they're going to choose one to keep. All right, and if I can put them up the right way. And they're going to give you extra little bonuses. So for example, this one here, if I choose to take this one, it's going to give me a betting bonus token. So it is a 7 bet that I gain when I put bets, but also I have an additional loss for this token of 5. So yes, it's a higher betting number, but if I do mess up and I lose on that bet, I'm going to have an extra penalty. Okay, but maybe I don't want that one. Maybe I want this one with the risky gambler. So for each winning bet that you place, you're going to get $2 from the supply. So every time I get a bet that's right, I get $2. But then from each of my losing bets that I place, I will pay $1 to supply. So it does help. It does hurt if I place losing bets. There will be other ones that will give you other different kind of bonuses, some that will just give you straight up money, and some that are going to say, hey, if this happens in the race, you're going to get extra dollars, right? Maybe they'll say, if the number 8 horse gets first, you get $6. Second, 4, third, $2, or the number 9 horse. So you're going to have a bunch of different things that are going to make it a little bit more asymmetrical between players, giving them different abilities, extra money, that kind of stuff, extra tokens. And that's how these are going to go. So you're going to get one of these at the end of every single race. And you're going to go until the end of the 4th race. Once that race is done, like I said, whoever is going to have the most money is going to be the winner of the game. So let's go ahead, take it back up top, and give you guys our thoughts.
All right, and we're back. Thank you, Andrew, for showing the audience how to play. So I'll let you start first. What are your positives for Ready, Set, Bet?
So my positives are, it's a John D. Clare game. It's a racing game, right? Two things that are, well, there's a race going on. You're not racing, but there is a race, right? So still very much up my alley, something that speaks to me because all of those things are great that I find in games. And so I was very excited going into this one. This was one that had a lot of buzz after Gen Con, and it was one that I couldn't wait to get my hands on. And when I finally did, was very excited to give it a play. I believe Nick and Vic taught this to us. Actually, they got to play it on the cruise, and then they came back, and I was like, great, you know how to play it? Teach me how to play it so I don't have to read the rules. Not that the rules are difficult or anything, because I later on went and looked at them when I had to play it again. But anyway, really like this, how quick the game is, how snappy it is, right? It's all, we use the app. We never had where somebody was running the race, just because wanted to have everybody involved, you know, that kind of thing. Although I think it would be fun to actually run the race, but we've always used the app, which was really nice. So everything's really quick because you got only so much time in order to put out these bets.
Right.
And it has that intensity of like you're rooting for a certain horse, or in some cases you're like, no, not that horse. And I like that it has that suspense. It feels quick and fat. Like it just feels like I'm at a horse race, right? And then I have real stuff on the line. But it's not a game that I think takes itself too seriously because you're only playing 3 races, or 3 races. Did I get that right? 4 races. 4 races. I'm sorry. 4 races. And so the races are really quick. And by the time you're done, like I said, it's only 45 minutes to an hour. You can easily set it up and go again, right? So it doesn't. I don't care if I lost a bunch of money or not, because the game is so quick and easy to play, and something you're going to want to play multiple times. So I really like that. The rules are very simple. Setup is very quick and easy. Yeah, so a lot of really good stuff there. What about you? Your positives?
I think it's an interesting game as far as like the way that you bet and the different like abilities that you get. So each person has kind of like their own thing.
With the VIP cards?
Yeah, with the VIP cards. It is very intense, you know, like it does, like you said, it does feel like a horse race. So I guess that would be like kind of like thematic, you know,
right?
Which I'm a fan of, obviously. So yeah, those are my positives.
Okay. How about negatives? You got any negatives for the game?
Yes. The negatives would be that it almost sometimes feels too stressful. Okay. Like because I mean, it's suspenseful and stuff, but you're like trying to like hurry up and put your pieces out, and like I feel like everybody's hands are like all up in it.
So you just gotta be quicker than the other person.
Yeah, like I feel like you're like, oh, like everybody's just like got their hands in it. So for me that was a negative because I'm like, I just feel like, I don't know, I don't like to be like rushed and so I mean you do have to think quickly and be like, oh, okay, like I'm probably gonna put a bet on that one like ahead of time and just kind of pre-plan a little bit. But yeah, I felt like there's just a lot of hands in there. So
yeah, I feel like you know, there's nothing really too negative about the game, really, but it is like you'll play with people and like, oh, you know, they're every round they're like, I'm always betting on red or I'm always betting on blue. Yeah. And so it's like some of those spots are going to go really quick because people just become like a creature of habit. Like I'm betting on the same thing, all, you know, whatever. Because I think they have the highest probability of winning based on die roll, whatever, you know, silly stuff like that. Luckily, that's not too big of a deal anyway. The the game can be a little overwhelming because you have a lot of options, right? And as the game goes on, you have more and more stuff that's happening. So you have your regular bets, right, on your show, place, win. You have your red wins, blue wins, all those kinds of things. But then you have the prop bets that are going to change. And so trying to learn those could be a little tricky at the beginning. Just going to be like, okay, what is that one? What is that one? The iconography is very straightforward, though, so it's pretty easy to catch on to. But again, they're going to be changing. So you're like, okay, wait. Before we start the race, what are these over here? Okay, and what's the new exotic finish? Because now every race you're going to add up those exotic finish cards. Right. And then you're going to have those VIP cards, which are really cool because it gives everybody a little bit of that asymmetry. Those necessarily, oh, hey, if this horse wins, then I get this X amount of money. Or, oh, I get this extra bet token. Or, I get whatever kind of thing. Gives you a little extra, like I said, variety. Okay? Right. But again, you got to keep track of that. Be like, oh, wait. Did this happen? Okay, yes. Okay, I get that. I got, there's a lot to keep track of. So your first couple plays, and you can even play without those VIP cards. I know we did, I think, the very first time we played without those cards, just to kind of keep it a little bit more simple, so that you're not kind of like, this, that, everything,
Right,
fine.
Yeah.
So not too much of a negativity, but something to know about as you go into the game that you could feel a little overwhelmed. You'd be like, well, what do I place a bet on? Where do I want to go? And everybody else is like, ah!
Yeah.
Right? Because it can get very crazy.
It's like sheer chaos.
And then you get to the end, you're like, what spot's available? I don't want to, you get a little nuts. So, especially if you're playing up against people that might have played it quite a bit of times, you might just be like, okay.
I think the first time I played it, I was like, I still had some left over because I'm like, I don't know. Everybody else is like, and I'm just like,
push your bets, it's about to cross the line.
Oh my gosh. Right. And then, you don't want to make a really bad decision because then you're going to lose a lot of money. So you have to make smart decisions.
Right. So those no penalty spots go pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't really have any other negatives. It's not a game that we've played at 2 players. I just don't think it's something it would be necessarily there's no special 2-player rules kind of thing in the rule book. It's like only for 2 players kind of thing. I would play this at higher player counts, 5, 6, maybe more, but then who knows how many bets you're going to get out kind of thing if you're playing with 8 players. So I'm sure it's fun. We haven't played with 8 players, but that middle road, 5, 6, even 4, I enjoyed those. So not a whole lot of negativity there. Really, really enjoy this game. This is one that I think is just great. You don't have to play it too seriously. It can be the end of the game, end of the night kind of game where it's just like, hey, let's just be silly, bet on some horses, get really ramped up and have fun with it. We don't have to really get to, it's not a brain burn or anything like that.
No, it's not.
So so not a ton of negatives here. So let's go ahead and jump into our final scores. Samantha, what would your score be for Ready, Set, Bet?
I would give it a 7.2.
Okay, 7.2. This is going to fall into that category of not necessarily a party game, but it's right there because it's so quick and snappy kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't call it it's close to a filler. I wouldn't say party game. It's a little long to be a filler, but it's not a game that's going to be your main event kind of thing, I don't think, unless you're playing it 3, 4, 5 times maybe, which I could definitely see happening. But I'm going to give it an 8.6. I think it's a really great game. This is one that I can't wait and it allows me to have that up to 8, 9 players.
I think it's fun to play with a group of people. It is I think that's why I even gave it a 7.2, because despite it being super chaotic, I think it's fun to play with a group of people.
And I think this is a great choice to have if you do have 9 people and everybody wants to play a game together, but you don't want to play, what's a 9-player game? I can't think of it off the top of my head right now.
The Ultimate Werewolf?
Yeah, right. You can pull this out and play that. Or if you don't want to play the Resistance or Crossfire, whatever those games
Right.
are. This is one that I think everybody can really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't catch on right away, it's fine because the game's over and eventually they'll catch on. So yeah, very highly ranked for me. Really enjoy this game. I am a little bit biased, obviously, because there is a race going on. There's betting. There's John DeClaire. It's all good stuff here.
Yeah, you're very into the horse racing. We have lots of horse racing games, though.
I do.
So why don't they put that in the comments?
What?
Like, what's your favorite horse racing game?
Okay. I'd be interested to know what other ones are out there that I haven't already taken a look at, because I'd probably be interested in it.
Yeah. Well, we have unicorns. We have regular horses.
Which are essentially like horses. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Magical horses.
All right, let Samantha know what's your favorite horse racing game down in the comments. And please, while you're here checking it out, like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what you think. And what can we do better? You know, I'm always looking for constructive criticism. So that's going to be our thoughts on Ready, Set, Bet. So we will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.
See ya.